We should be live again after you trying to chuck me under the bus earlier.
Shh. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Buddy,
No.
the third dimension happened, mate.
I have no idea what's going on with
Fourth
Skype.
dimension, I should say. Yeah, but somehow you ended up streaming from your computer, and I don't know, it was weird. So, well done on that, and then trying to chuck me under the bus.
Yeah.
You weren't even on the title screen, mate.
No, I wasn't.
Well, hopefully nobody heard what I was saying, because... welcome
That's why you just get bashed more.
Welcome to episode 6843 of the Clutch Kick Live.
I'm still trying to play with this Skype thing.
Have you seen where I'm floating? I'm on your back wall.
No,
You haven't even checked yet, have you?
I have no idea why Skype is just being crazy, but
that's alright. I'm currently in your Hot Wheels cars collection.
Are you hiding out there?
Yeah, I'm just the little birdie above your shoulder. So as you can guess from the title, Eiji's guest has stood us up. So I'm sure about 3 people are going to bother to continue listening. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for the show tonight, guys. It was great having you. I'm glad you watched that title screen for 10 minutes, and maybe we'll catch you in a month's time with a guest.
Oh, look at that. I can see myself now.
That's good. I'm glad you found yourself.
Yeah, so the guest I'd organised for tonight unfortunately has to work. So
don't they know
we'll probably
get.
Yeah, but I think it's just they need money for
drugs,
things,
drugs and alcohol and hookers.
I think it's for more like family living and house.
Nah. Definitely more exciting to say it the other way around. Yeah, so we weren't sure if we're going to do this, but Eiji wanted to do a catch-up. Mate, you're sitting behind my wall there.
Am I?
Yeah, I'll shrink myself down a little bit.
No, I'll move.
There you go.
I have a mirrored view. I've forgotten.
So, yeah, we figured we'd do just a quick catch-up on some of the stuff that's happened this week, but we said we wouldn't go long last week, and we went long, but hopefully we won't go long this week. I guess biggest news of the week, Matty Hill finished second at D1NZ. Very good result for him. Was that round 3, and that's 2 times he's been on the podium this season, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So he must be doing alright in the championship now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's doing well. I haven't looked that far into it. Event-wise, I guess it was okay. I don't know. There was some funky things. I didn't love the Matty's sitting second currently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought the bungee for the lead car was all a bit odd, or the Scando entry or whatever was a bit funny. So, but yeah, other than that, it was a shame to see Ben Jenkins have car problems after winning the last round. I think he was pretty aggressive, and I think he lost the tail shaft or something, and ended up driving his brother's car. But I think they set their cars up a little bit different, and I think Ben still managed to land the car in second, second, in 5th for qualifying, which is really good. But being the second driver of that car and it not being his one, I think they're swapping back and forth, and the car was sort of more geared towards the way Troy likes it. Not to mention they've got a fairly big height difference. You didn't catch any of D1NZ at all, did you, Eiji?
No, I don't even know what I was doing.
It was Sunday. You had a drift hangover.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. You didn't get to go drifting. Did you actually go drifting on Saturday?
I went in a car. I didn't drive.
Yeah, okay.
Before we get to that, other massive news. Mitch Lana is driving FD.
Yeah, that's cool. one of
Forest's cars.
Forest. Yeah, is it the
The S14.
uh yeah? So it's the old car.
Yeah, so that car, I think the last person to drive it was Dean Kearney, the guy who drives the Viper, borrowed it for a round and actually drove it
Yep.
really, really well. Just because Dean was having so many issues with the Viper. And then before that, I think Charles Ung was going to drive it for a season and he buried it into the tyre wall at Long Beach the season prior to last. So I think they were the last people to sort of use that car. And I think Forrest brings it out every so often as a bit of a party car. But yeah, it'll be good to see Mitch drive that. If anybody follows Forrest or Gets Nuts Lab or Garrett or anything on, and by Garrett I mean Garrett, he's Forrest's one of his engineers, mechanics, whatever, on Instagram, you would have seen a bunch of stuff of Mitch driving that car, and it's his first time in a left-hand drive car and all that, and the dude's got skills, so looked like he got a handle of it pretty quickly. So I don't think you have too much trouble uh, getting to terms with that. And yeah, he's come from IDC, which is mostly, well, let's be real, it's all slower courses compared to what they're running at FD. But
Yep.
when he drives over in WA, they're all pretty fast tracks. Uh, not so much in the competitions now, but what he would normally drive, which is big track at Barbagallo and down at Collie, um, he's used to driving fast. So I don't think that stuff's going to be much of a challenge. I think just the challenges will be more just getting used to that side of the car and it being natural and where when he tries to grab handbrake and little things like that. But I don't think adapting to tracks and uh, the speed is going to be a factor for Mitch at all.
Hmm.
And I'd just be interested to see what sponsors he has. I know Achilles has already been announced. Ken Gushi's also left Falcon and he's driving under Achilles this year. So they've got I think a team of 10 drivers. No, what did I count? No, I think it was like 18 drivers driving on Achilles this
For
year for FD.
that's Pro 1 and 2.
I think there's only a couple of Pro 2 maybe in the mix of that, but so pretty sure there's at least a good
Wow.
15 in Pro, which would be like half the field. So
Yeah. Right.
um, it's exciting for them. I'm just surprised because I know when I was over there 2013, the guys from Achilles were there chatting to their drivers, and then the following year they had sort of taken a bit of a step back. But it seems like they've gone back to yeah being bigger. Uh, Gucci was next in the season before last, and I'm pretty sure last season he was Falcon. So that's a couple of tire manufacturers in the last couple of years. Um, and yeah, so I'm excited to see Mitch drive. I know Maximum Driftcast had alluded to an Aussie being in Pro 1, but I thought maybe it was a Brendan Greaves
Josh.
or a Jake or somebody who had been, just showing interest in going over like they have been for the last few years,
Okay.
not somebody who was putting their money where their mouth is and stepping into to Pro 1. So it sort of explains a little bit from Mitch why he wasn't doing IDC
IDC.
Extreme and all that, but I'm keen to see how he goes, and yeah, it's good that he's been able to make that work over there. So it'd be interesting to see sponsors on that car and how that operates. I believe the guys from Department of Drift are trying to, I think it's Department of Drift over in WA are trying to get
Yep.
him on their podcasting. That's why I didn't really try and annoy him too much because they're more local to him. So we'll see if they're able to get onto him in the next little while. If not, I'll harass him. Uh, but yeah, definitely keen to see how he progresses this year.
Did they mention anything more about like is he a paid driver or is he just um
There's been no details other than what he put out himself saying that he'll be driving with Forrest. So
okay, yeah, because I wasn't quite sure if maybe it's something that Forest team has recognized and sort of
well,
got him on board, or if he's approached them and said, "Hey, is
Yeah, if
your
it's a
car up for hire or something like that,"
yeah, if it's a
and then he has to bring on board all the sponsors and
yeah. Well, I know Forrest has rented that car out previously. Like that's when Charles and Dean drove that car at different events. That it was a rental service, but
yeah,
uh, yeah, it'll be interesting because if Forrest is able to make that program work where he's able to get sponsorship dollars and put a person in a car, Mitch might be just paying for his own flights and all that sort of stuff, and then he's got the car supplied and that's being paid for via sponsors or however it's being done. Uh, but yeah, I'm just pumped to see how he goes. I think he's going to do well. It wouldn't surprise me if he's one of those drivers who steps in first round and is able to go top 16 first round out, which is basically, other than a lot of your super experienced Japanese guys and stuff like that, uh, isn't heard of very often in FD. Most of the guys who go rookie struggle to even bust one top 16 in the season, and I honestly think Mitch is probably going to give it a big shake really quickly. So, yeah, definitely keen for that. Yeah, that's what's that? 2 weeks away, a week and a half away.
yeah, it's not that
No,
long.
2.5 weeks away. 2.5 weeks.
Just had the calendar open
Yeah,
before.
2.5. Eiji might actually watch round one now.
Maybe.
I was a bit disappointed in some of our guys who judge other series in Australia not knowing who Mitch Lana was.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit shocked. We should throw eggs at his head.
That's a bit of an inside joke.
5th and 6th of April. Logan sending me the 1st of April, but mate, it's not April Fools. Um, yeah. So that's sort of where I'm at with drift news for the week. This weekend, Produced Auto have Autumn Jam. Oh no,
Up in Port.
up at Port, 3 days.
Yep.
I do have news actually, because he was here for a little while, and I don't know if he's still there. Uh, Driftbit's been in contact. They have fairly major news coming out in the next little while, and once that's announced, hopefully we can get him on the show, Michael back on the show, and he can give us a little bit more in the way of details. I know that the e-lift stuff's been going really well, and I know today they're looking for an S14 down in Melbourne to do some testing on, and I think that's already been sorted. So I think things have gone better than they thought with that, and so there's also been some progress with the drift bit. So fingers crossed Michael has that out soon on the Battlist Instagram and Facebook page, and then hopefully we'll get him on not that long after to get that happening. And then there was something else and I forgot. Oh, layout for Drifting SA Summer Series. Next round has been released.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
What's the now? So it's almost reverse. So instead of going, yeah, it's reverse from.
No,
They go up the straight instead of down it now.
no,
Are you sure?
yeah. So where they were sort of finishing the last event, that's where they're starting this event.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're starting.
No, so they're driving up
Their start lines.
no, they're driving up the front straight, driving around the first corner, and then flicking it into the Titan section, and then drifting through the next part.
Yeah, it's anti-clockwise, not clockwise.
No, it's still clockwise.
Hang on.
Far out, mate. Don't argue with me, mate.
No, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure.
I am going to pull up a picture and place it over the top of your bloody head, mate.
Okay. All right. Okay.
For anybody playing at home. because Eiji wants to argue with me and he's wrong. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, now I'm seeing what you mean. Wow, that is really long. Now I was looking at it the wrong way. Okay, now I'm wrong. That's gonna be really slow. I thought it was the red line, but it's actually the blue line.
No, it's the blue line. That's
Yeah.
it says
Jesus Christ, that's really
judge
long.
section. That's not that long.
Yeah, it's not really that long, is it? I'm gonna have to eat my
No,
words, and I can't
it's
delete this
it's
part
it's
of the
only extra.
conversation.
It's only extra 2 corners, I think.
Yeah, but that's the slowest section of the. Well, the entry is
Yeah.
gonna be high speed, and then
Yes.
the next section's gonna be very slow, which is yeah, should be good. Yeah, I was looking at it all wrong. I was like, oh wow, that's a really weird entry because I'm looking at start line and then I didn't read the keys.
You've read the start line and gone the red line to the finish line.
Yep.
Ah. No, that's. And then you've seen all the colourful bits on the other bits where there's the clipping points, and
Yeah,
you've totally disregarded that.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, all right. No, that's interesting. I wonder if this will cause issues with gapping at all, just because of the
Just a high
like
speed entry.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad last time, because last time they used a big run up as well. Like it's almost the same lengths, and then they were saying that they weren't having issues with gapping, even though there's like a bit of a corner. This one, I think the entry speed looks like it's going to be a lot faster.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe, but they were starting like all the way around, sort
Or
of.
the
You're not gonna see it when I
finish
mark it,
line
but
bit.
sort of yeah, where that other clipping point is, where the third clipping point is, was sort of where they were starting from. So,
Yeah.
um, but it also looks like lead car, chase car won't have to initiate when the lead car
The
does.
lead cut. Yeah.
So that should sort of help a little bit. But they're gonna have to at least get a mod slide going because I just don't think you'll be able to carry a crazy amount of speed under grip and then get a good flick into that big outside zone. But yeah, I think that should still help.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it'd be interesting.
yeah, no, it should be exciting.
Pull out clips again.
Well, yeah, that's the only way to run a course, isn't it?
Oh no, you can have inside clips.
Yeah,
That's
I just don't think it.
it just depends on the course.
I think this track would lend itself to absolutely chopping the chase car if it had inside clips.
I think if you ran a particular layout on here, you could put an inside clip in, but not. It's a very particular layout, and you wouldn't want to do that in a point where a chase car would need to catch up again. So, because it kind of cuts them off, but it really depends on the course that's run. I kind of wonder how this would look as a team drift course, because I assume they would run the same sort of thing for team drift as well.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be the same for both.
so you'd probably see them sort of tackle the course a bit differently for team drift, because in the past, I think people have been trying to sort of get really close to each other, and then on this one, you're going to have to form kind of like a train, I think, to look impressive, rather than trying to be in unison around the corner.
Yeah, because if you go for big tuck and try and all push at the same time, as soon as you get to the
Yeah,
bottlenecks, everybody's just gonna like get left behind, sort of thing.
yeah, you'll start getting these gaps. Whereas if you can sort of, I guess I don't even know what the criteria for team drift is, but I'm just thinking if they are looking for their own sort of flair, then I'm thinking in this type of course you'd want to have like an actual train where you would have one car sort of transition and another car transition on the same spot, so it looks like they're all on like a rail and they're all sort of bang 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 on the same spot, and then you get that sort of impressive image there.
Yeah, I think you could probably set yourself up for a couple of overtakes on that first on the big corner though as well, which would be cool. Sort of as you get into the third zone, you could probably have a car or two come in underneath other cars. So as you sort of arrive there, if somebody, yeah, other cars can stay wide enough. And I think that section of the track is pretty wide. I think once you get into the middle section, it starts to look like it tightens up a fair bit. So
Yeah, I'd
definitely,
be interested to see the team drift for this.
yeah, should be exciting. All right, I'm gonna return it to our ugly heads. Oh, why did that not go to full screen? Um, yeah, so I think that's a few weeks away. Entries, yeah, entries are open and early bird uh, prices are currently available. So jump on that. Dates 13th and 14th of April. So I don't think there's much else on at that time. So if you're feeling game and you're from interstate, head down there for that. Definitely looks like fun. And yeah, they run it the way Eiji said rather than the way I did. So I'm happy to chalk that one up. Uh, DCA Mount Gambier is confirmed as happening, or
Yep.
basically confirmed as happening. DCA has released that information that it's happening. Dates aren't uh, fully confirmed yet, uh, but from rumors I'm hearing in the middle of spring somewhere. So I would imagine it wouldn't be super early because that's Bathurst and or Time Attack, but then I would imagine it's sometime not too long after that. So yeah, 3 days. From what I've been told, pricing they're looking at around 300 each to drive, and then extra money on top for Cash Kings. But 3 days of driving, running both directions, just a full Matsuri style, just once there's a line, drive to the other end, turn around, drive back, and just keep doing that for probably 2.5 ish days, and then Sunday it'll be the Sunday that the Cash Kings is on. So if people want to leg it home and not hang around for that and get an early start, they can do that. But that's what I've been told so far. But I think they're just waiting on council to fully lock in the actual date itself.
Yep.
But I think the council was given the go ahead for the event to happen in that time period. They've just got to lock in the weekend that it's going to happen. So we're going to bunk up together again this year, mate.
Are we?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
All right. Oh, yeah, I guess we can.
Um,
Better than hanging out with some other guys, though.
don't talk about your Canberra mates like that. Which car are you going to bring down? Or are you even going to come down?
A running car.
A running car. Well, on that note, your 180 survived Saturday.
Yeah, it's because I was just like complaining about the wheel alignment the whole time. Oh, actually, I got smashed in the ass on Saturday, so I've got to fix that. And what are the issues I have?
Well, you got hit by an Integra at a
Yeah.
drift event, which is or Prelude,
Alright,
sorry.
that was painful.
So
That was really
I'm still
painful.
unsure on how this went down. So
Did you have comms on that
no,
at that time? No, okay.
I was gonna walk around the pits with the helmet on.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, that's because you're Asian. It's acceptable. Um,
You're white. You can be a weirdo. No one cares.
yeah, but then I get shoved in like a mental asylum.
So yeah. So what happened was, I think it was a 5-car train. There was one of the Revo guys in the white 33. Then there was Paul, Mitch, myself, and Connor. And so what happened is
The
we
white
lined up.
33 or was it the 31?
No, so there's a bit of confusion there because
Okay.
we couldn't really see who was actually at the front of the queue because we're at the back.
Yeah.
So someone did come up and say, "Hey, sorry, they broke a gearbox in the start line."
Yeah.
But turns out because I looked back through the video and he wasn't actually in the line,
Yeah.
so
I'm
it
pretty sure
wasn't that
that's
occasion.
yeah. That was Daniel
'Cause
Watts. So Daniel, you're off the hook.
yeah. So no, it was. I'm not sure what happened at the front, but Paul's talked over the comm saying go, and so then we went to start off, but then Paul said stop, and kind of didn't stop.
So this is like literally just launching off the line.
Yeah, he just kept his foot mashed. I was looking through my video, and it looks like he actually started to go before I did, so he was already committed.
And because he's got those semi-slicks on his drive tires, he was just absolutely smoking it off the line.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure exactly if Paul said go and I lagged, but yeah, looking through my video, I can see Paul in my mirror, and Paul, I can see Connor in my mirror, and he'd actually left the line before I did.
So, do you feel like they should ban front-wheel drive cars from drift events?
No, that's a driver issue, so they should ban Connor.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
So
he's
front-wheel
he's
drive
smashing
should be
into the back
allowed,
of me.
but
Yeah,
as long as it's not Connor. So even if he showed up in a rear drive car, do you think he should be banned?
yeah.
Like,
That's the difference. It's not the car's fault. It's
yeah,
the driver's fault.
yeah, that's fair. He's claiming that he started when your car squatted. Well, it sounds like your car squatted when it got plowed in the bum by a Prelude.
Yeah, so no, he wasn't paying attention because I stopped.
So what sort of damage have you got, mate?
I actually pushed a lot of it out already. So I've got a porta power, I think that's what it's
Yeah.
called. And so we looked at it on Sunday, pushed out. It's pretty good, but I think the rear bar needs to be recreated. Can't really It's actually a lot stronger than I thought because the front bar. Have you ever bent a front Rio back to shape before? Actually, no. You have custom made stuff, don't you? Yeah. So that doesn't apply to you. Okay. So
Have you seen the rear bar on an S14?
there's not much there.
No, it's literally like a thin piece of metal and like
Yeah.
these two little
So
squares, and
there's two sides, and there's like a really thin piece
that just holds
going
the bumper, and literally that's all it
Yeah.
does.
through the middle, and then two end pieces.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
on my first car, I just pulled those like those big square bits off to fit an aftermarket body kit. So
Yeah. Right. Um, it's not as weak as that, but we tried bending out an S13 and we got an S13 out really good with a big mallet. So you can actually bend them back into shape, but the rear bar was a lot stronger than I thought. I'm not too sure if it's because of the shape of the rear bar, because it's not really square. It's slightly curved because it's a 180, and sort of going at that with the same hammer, we could probably get a bigger hammer. It really didn't bend back into shape very well. So I'm thinking now it's going to be cut the bent part, use the existing, because where it actually mounts into the rails, that's fine. It's just it has a big dent in the middle of it. So I just cut that piece out and recreate, just put some tube in and recreate.
just get the dude who plowed you in the bum to fab you up some custom shit.
No, he over engineers things.
Yeah, so that would have destroyed his own car then.
No, that means that it won't actually crumple if I hit something.
Just
the
put
Rio.
Just put put big spikes out the back that sit under the bumper, so you just like pierce his radiator even worse than it was already done and stuff like that.
I guess he's the only one that actually hits me in the back, because I did send him a message because last time I think he's often crashed into the back of people.
Well, I'm pretty sure he hit a black 180 as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. In the back. Oh, he did too.
Yeah, he did the rear quarter on one of the Revo boys' cars.
Yeah. I remember that. And then no, he's hit the 180 once before in the back, but it wasn't that much damage. But then he's also hit my 32 in the back as well, and taken the rear bar off.
Yeah, sounds like a friendly
So
guy.
yeah,
Uh, Driving overall on the weekend was really good from what I saw. I was a bit
yeah.
nervous. I think Josh was on the start line from early in the day, and I think it was like I got there at 10:30, and I think he was pushing 10 car trains by
Early.
10:45.
It
Like,
was early.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
We were still,
just
they were getting right into it. It was cool. That was a really good weekend. And then the Corolla guys as well, when they were doing the trains. The Corolla crew was awesome.
yeah.
They were going,
I
yeah,
think
proper fast.
I
Yeah.
think every KE70 uh in Sydney was out there driving, or every KE70 in New South Wales was out there driving on Sunday, on
Except
Saturday,
for,
except for Steve's one. Well,
yeah.
sorry, every KE70 that runs.
Because Toyota.
Well, you got to put, you've got to put a motor in it to make it run.
I thought it had a motor in it, that blue one.
Maybe. Do you think the guy standing on the start line and really pushing people, just like forcing them into massive trains like that, is
No,
a good thing or a bad thing?
no, he's not forcing them at all.
Yeah, but it's
He's
like you're not being forced, but you're like being peer pressured. It's like, kid, you don't have to drink this shot, but we're all doing shots, so like, here's a shot.
Nah, I don't think Josh isn't a guy like that. No way. I think he's just say, "Hey, do you want to go on the train? Here it is,"
Yeah.
and then it's up to them to say no. If they say no, then I don't think he'll push him. He'll just open that suggestion.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like you have to do it.
He's
It's
not
like
pressuring. Nah.
it's like, but it's like I feel like he would fit really well at being on the start line at a DCA event.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's like a train is taking place, 10
yeah,
people. It's up to you. Are you okay with that? Like, those
yeah,
hand signals
yeah.
that you're just like, okay.
Yeah, that's how it'd be. He wouldn't push people into it. He wouldn't say you've got to go in. He just no. But he
Uh,
would he welcome. He'll say, "Yeah, you're welcome to join in on this train. You'll do it. You'll be all right."
but do you
Most
think,
people, are, anyway.
but,
I
yeah, but
think the
do you think that
biggest
sort of stuff raises the quality of driving quicker though? Like the fact that people are being sort of jumping into the deep end a little bit more and sort of having that pressure of having cars behind, cars in front, and you're not wanting to make mistakes.
to a point, yes. I think they need to be at a particular skill level
Yeah, of
before.
course. You gotta be able
But
to
it
link a
does,
lap.
yeah. If they're in that, sometimes they actually need that little bit of a nudge to actually get them to figure out, yeah, I can actually drive faster, and it actually feels alright. Because otherwise, they get stuck in this sort of loop of, this is safe, this is easy, I'm just going to keep doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, because right at the end of the day, I think you're involved in those like very very end of day trains. And there was a guy in a grey or a silver 180, and at first I was standing with Nick Nielsen and a couple of the other Revo guys on, I think Jai as well, on the wall right at sort of um, at the flaggy point, and
Yeah.
we all looked at each other like, who's leading that train? And nobody knew who was in the grey 180. I still don't know who was in the grey 180, and he managed to link like a really really good lap, and just everybody was sitting on each other the whole way through the track. And then the next lap he came through, and I'm pretty sure he bombed it and spun out. Uh, but yeah, definitely cool, and it's some of the best driving I've seen in New South Wales for a long time.
It's
Um,
definitely the fun time.
yeah,
But do you remember anything about that grey 180? Was it
nothing.
running? No, no,
No,
nothing,
nothing,
no
nothing.
wing, no,
Yeah,
no, it's grey.
no, it was
Okay,
like, yeah, and it had like black rims or something like that.
okay, because there's two grey 180s there. They're from Canberra as well.
I don't think it had plates.
I don't know if they left the plates because a lot of people took their plates
Ah,
off.
okay.
Yeah.
But whoever it was, yeah, did yeah, really good, solid lead lap with the pressure of that train right on them. Um, Jai ended up taking the spot for high tech,
Yep.
which is good. It's the most focused that I've seen him actually drive at well, I guess at any event without him trying to do beyond. No, I guess I shouldn't say beyond. Uh, Trying things, but giving a little bit more of a shit while he does it. I know,
He
but
was fast and he was close and he was
yeah,
on angle. Yeah.
and because when we're on our way back down from QR at Port, he was just trying to chuck backies on every corner.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to improve your skill level. You're just sort of pushing those boundaries, and then but normally Jai does the whatever you boys call it, the Sydney entry.
Yeah.
Like the big scando start on the grass and flick it towards the wall and just do the big sort of lazy scando entry. But he was going sort of for more single flicks. I think maybe a few times was probably overcooked it a little bit with almost too much sort of mungie. Uh, but yeah, was definitely really good driving, and I think him, Paul, and yourself were probably the guys getting closest to each other all weekend, and I know Jai and Paul had some crazy runs, and because I jumped in with Jai near the end of the day, and he had put 265 good ride RSs on,
Jesus.
and
Okay.
left him up at like 30 psi or something, because we're just worried that
Yeah.
he's got some like knocky half shafts and wasn't sure if the clutch was going to hold up and all that sort of stuff. So 30 psi was a sort of fairly high. We probably could have dropped them down a little bit, but yeah, shit, it gave him the drive to be able to just dive right up on Paul's door. I don't get how Paul's car is so goddamn fast.
Yeah. For just a standard car,
But
pretty
but
much.
yeah, in a straight line, like yeah, once he's come through the first corner, he's got a downshift to second, and he's a little bit slow through that next part. But in a straight line, that car is a rocket.
Yeah.
Like it's got a stupid amount of camber. They're like
Yeah. Normal camber.
205 tires
215.
maybe.
215, 45, 17s.
Really, they're that skinny.
Yeah. 215s. That's what we run.
Um, and
And he doesn't run cam. Like I put camber arms in to keep up with Paul because I've got 215 as well. But I couldn't when he goes. I cannot keep up with him.
yeah, I
And
don't.
he standard computer, standard turbo, standard injectors, just a front mount, a fuel pump.
And it's just a half. It's gutted car and a half cage, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
pretty much got
but
it.
and a subwoofer.
Yeah, subwoofer in it.
So I think it's the subwoofer that gives him the speed. So yeah, that car should basically. I know he was in the running for the wild card entry as well, but I think the Revo boys knew that he was already entered into. I think he's doing the bash as well, right?
Paulies.
Yeah. Was he
Yeah,
entered for
Paul. Yeah, yeah.
that? And I
There's
think
actually a lot of people interested in that spot
yeah, I
because
I know, but when I sort of did a bit of a take around the pits of who
who
was sort of
could.
who was sort
Yeah,
of skilled enough to take the spot and who had cars that are actually up to the spec that is sort of required to do the event, there was only a couple of guys and then sort of the Revo guys who have cars that the right spec to do it. And even Paul's car is not really to spec.
no.
He'd have to clean up the other door and stuff like that, I would imagine. I think they'd still knock him back. Uh, so yeah, good to see Jai's taking the spot. I knew he was keen on it before he showed up to the event, and that's why he was a little bit more serious with the entries and things like that. But hopefully he makes it up for the last day of the bash. Uh, potentially,
Yeah, he's
potential.
I told him he's not allowed to come unless he wins.
Well, he probably wouldn't. Uh, but yeah, just yeah, really good driving on the weekend. it scared me, but also got me keen to get back out
To
there and
drive.
try.
Yeah.
Uh, the they did a one run. I think Nick may have been behind, and Jai didn't actually know that Nick was driving the Sil 80, and we were able to blow through the start line, and it was top of fourth gear, like on each other's door from the start. And when I say like on each other's door, I'm not talking like, oh yeah, mate, it was on each other's door, like, and it's like three bus lengths between. Like I actually could have put my hand out the passenger window and pushed Paul's car around the first corner.
Wow.
And I don't think I've ever like I haven't been in a tandem that close before. Or maybe when I'm driving and Luke's like trying to push me around Archie or something like that, but definitely not
Yeah.
definitely not at the top of fourth gear and actually running along the wall, the way Eiji would like. So uh, yeah, I'm excited to see Jai go and give it a red hot go. So well, and hopefully he actually shows up to it, which I'm imagining he will. I think he's into
Yeah, I think it will.
I think he's into free shit. So
Yeah.
are you gonna do the Revo day after the bash?
The bash.
The
Yeah.
weekend after?
That's a plan.
The weekend
Yep.
after? Okay. I was planning on
Yeah. Are
doing,
you?
well, if my car's running, then I'm doing both.
Yeah.
Keen to get like solid seat time, so yeah,
Yeah.
that excites me a little bit. Uh, it was Paul leading, and then Nick was chasing behind Jai. So yeah, I thought Nick drove really well. He reckons that the car was not as good as it was at the round of high tech last year, but he looked faster than he did at high tech last year. But maybe because he wasn't trying to drive so much to clips and stuff like that, but he looked a whole bunch faster around the track. I don't know.
Dunno. He always plays himself down.
Yeah, so yeah, we're just saying how crap you were, Jai. Oh, Buddy Connor's getting butt hurt here. He said he's going to share videos in the community group about when you brake checked him off the start line.
Yeah, it's because Paul said stop. You can't even. There's no way to. Like, I didn't record the audio, but yeah, he said stop.
But that bro doesn't understand English.
No, I'm pretty sure Connor didn't hear Paul say stop. He was just so committed to going that he just
Do you
sort
feel
of
like it's a
kept
word that
going.
Connor even knows? Like, do you reckon his parents ever said it to him?
Yeah, lots of times.
Connor just stopped. Well, maybe he's lost what
Yeah.
the meaning actually is.
No, I think he just blocks that out because
Yeah.
it's said so often.
Yeah, it's just the
Connor,
word
you
doesn't
can't
exist.
do that. Connor, stop, no, and then we just no, just
It's gone.
yeah, it's automatic block.
So, yeah, definitely a good event, and I hope this is a thing to come for the Revo days. Uh, yeah, my only dislike of the event would have been guys coming out of the single run lane and stupidly just leaving, or even uh, in the what's it called lane, in the tandem lane, when whoever's on the start line has sent them and they haven't actually paid any attention to who's actually gone out in front of them, and then getting trains or solo runs checked up because the car in front isn't very good. Which is fine. Like, I don't have a problem with those people being out there, but if you're going to drive that event, then pay attention to who's gone in front of you, and if you know that they're a slow car who's going to spin, don't leave the line.
Yeah,
Especially if you're the leader of a train, because the people behind don't know necessarily who's gone. So just don't. Because it was
and
like,
sometimes you can't trust reputation.
why? Who do you say that about?
Just someone. I was just annoyed because I ended up breaking a wheel
Oh,
bearing.
oh, yeah. So Eiji tried to hit Cliff Clayson around turn one. It was actually,
No, it wasn't him.
oh, it wasn't
No,
that
no,
one? Well, you almost
no,
hit
that's someone
Cliff.
else.
You were,
Yeah, but that was I'd known Cliff's cars.
was shutting down and
Uh,
doing weird stuff.
yeah, a bit funny. So I was really cautious about that one. So once he was actually going, that's when I sort of pushed up.
Yeah. But you
Yeah,
went pretty close to hitting him, and
yeah, that was unexpected.
then you broke a wheel bearing. I can't even remember that run. Who you were? Come on, drop names, mate. What colour's their car?
No, I was standing out too much.
We'll just say you were chasing Nick Nielsen.
Okay, yeah,
I
and
don't.
then and then I went on the approach, and then I just did something completely retarded, and I had to avoid it. I was going for the tag, and yeah, they were just completely in a weird spot, and they did something weird, and I just had to bail. And when I bailed, I'm pretty sure the wheel bearing was on its way out anyway, but it actually like that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I'm still confused. It wasn't Jai that you were chasing, was it?
No,
Ah,
no.
we'll just blame Jai anyway. Fucking Jai doing shit
Okay.
runs. Can't believe they gave him the wild card. Was Bamford there? Bamford was indeed there. I'm pretty sure Bamford may or may not have.
He was on track.
Yeah, he was on track. Not when he was supposed to be,
Yeah.
and not in the right gear. Yeah, Bamford was there, but he's ended up. He head is on, all that stuff is on his standard bottom end VE headed SR20, but then the keyway on the crank pulley messed up, so he was trying
So
to get.
did it break or
Nah, just a
was it running?
harmonic, yeah, just a harmonic balancer or something was all messed up. So he was trying to get a standard one of them, but yeah, no good. And then Monday just passed. There was I guess the promo shoot for
Yeah.
North Circuit. So I think Josh stole Cam's S14, the Revolution S14, and Nick had broken some suspension stuff and got that fixed up and drove that as well. So those guys were involved with that this time. So that's good. So yeah, I think that's basically as good as confirmed that that's going to be around the same time as it was the year just past. So get used
That's
to
what
it.
it's looking like.
Yeah, so get used to it really.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping for a push to South Circuit, but I don't know if it's actually
that
favourable.
yeah, that organisation I don't think really wants to run South events. So that would be up to somebody else coming in with some money and being like, can we do this as well?
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, yeah. Connor also said he saw a few short course entries from the long line. Yeah, I did actually see that a couple of times, and like not like where sometimes you'll go the opposite course just because you've gone to enter and then somebody's done some whack shit and it's just safer to hook one way or the other. Um, I saw a couple of times where people they sent them out first because I was sending long line first, and then all of a sudden they've started sending short course behind, and that person who's gone in the long line has just cut in and driven short course.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that a few times. I think that people got pulled up on that actually because they were doing it repeatedly. So eventually they got a talking to, but
yeah,
I think at the start might have been some confusion, maybe.
um, did your car get decibel tested in the pits for
No,
going
mine
around track?
didn't.
But
No.
but you saw cars get tested?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
wasn't there when it happened, but so for
Yeah.
anybody who's wanting to go down and drive, who's listening to this and has done the previous thing where they show up with blast pipes and do all that sort of stuff, and then go and drive just everywhere but turn two, you're not going to get away with it so much anymore. They're doing sort of the same as way as Rally does it, with a
Yep.
handheld decibel meter, and you got to rev to 4K or 5K or something from with the decibel meter a few meters behind the exhaust, just in the pit, so you get away with wastegate and that sort of stuff. But yeah, and as Jai's just said, just put a muffler on the car. I'm just not sure why people even bother anymore with the straight pipe stuff, because yeah, reality is,
It's cheap.
yeah, it is cheap, but uh, it's just getting harder and harder. Like, no matter where you're gonna go now,
Yeah.
other than Sydney Motorsport Park and on Figure Eight, are you gonna get away with that sort of shit anymore? So, and really,
I
it's
think
just,
even it's just that little edge that you need to take off. It's not really. You can even put like a hot dog in, and it seems to be enough. It's just as long as you don't have um, like that sort of pitch that carries. That seems to be the worst thing.
well, you probably know it better than I do. Doesn't sound like whenever it goes up 1 decibel is like 10 times the level of sound, or like a certain, like it's some ridiculous,
Yeah,
like its increase
yeah.
per decibel is like it grows
It's a
like
multi.
massive,
Yeah,
like as it goes higher and higher. It's not like it increases in the same sort of increment. It skyrockets. Like, the difference between 98 and 99 decibels is actually really, really loud.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, putting a muffler on it, actually even dropping it a few decibels at that sort of range, uh, it just goes, yeah, yeah, 3 decibels is double the amount of noise. So if you're going from 90, 92 decibel up to 95, you've doubled the sound from 92. Like, when you think of it that way, that's just ridiculous amounts of noise. So yeah. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to share it, but well, it was put up on social media, but the Revo guys, or Nick stopped down at Marulan on the way down on Friday afternoon,
Friday.
and
Yeah, that's right.
he didn't drive. It was purely for a chat with the management there. But it sounds like they've got another test day there.
Yep.
It'll be a closed test day, so don't get excited and think that they're going to open it up and all that sort of stuff. But it's just because it's the same council as Wakefield. It's Goulburn
I
Council
guess it's
still.
only like 15 minutes away, so
So they're, the council's happy to have it, but they've just got to meet those same requirements as Wakefield has, and all that sort of stuff. So they are working on it. Uh, Hopefully we'll have a
I
little
know.
bit more.
Yeah, I
Go.
know Nick has a plan to mitigate some of the issues that they're having or they're concerned about.
Yeah.
So I think it sounded really positive after they had their meeting, and if all goes well, then they would probably. It sounds like they're keen to get drifters onto the track.
Well, Nick said it's
So
like going from, like, Marulan looks like a 5-star resort compared to Wakefield. So
really, oh
yeah,
well, the pit area looks. Yeah, Wakefield's improved a bit. I haven't been to Marulan since IDA had the drift days there,
yeah.
and that was a long time ago. Before they got shut down from drifting at Marulan. Back then, it wasn't not bad. The pit area didn't really exist. I think there was a carport for 5 cars, and that was about it. Otherwise, everything was on the gravel car park. But looking at the videos that are coming out from there, it's all been tarred over now.
And they've got
Uh,
carports and stuff like that. So
yeah, the one thing I really liked about Marulan was the canteen was actually really good. The burgers are awesome. I don't think those guys are there anymore.
yeah, Wakefield's not too bad with that.
They don't have hot dogs anymore. Did you
Oh
see
my
that?
goodness, that's what you're concerned about. You're like, they have really good food, hot dogs. The
Yeah, but
most
that's what I want.
the most processed things you could possibly get, and you're worried about the quality of it.
I took the quality. I just liked it because it worked out neat with chips. There was chips and a hot dog, and it was $10. Neat.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good $10 piece of meat, is there, mate?
Filled with I don't even know what meat.
Anything
So
else?
yeah, looking forward to Marulan.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully that all goes through. And then this weekend they've got a couple of the guys
yes,
doing
if you're
Luddenham.
around that area, definitely go check it out and support them. And I think you should say how it's awesome, all the positives to getting more drifting, like wanting to see more drifting at London, and then hopefully we can actually get a day there. Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, look, definitely, and anything that's faster than figure eight that you can spend a day at rather than a couple of hours at night is definitely going to be a good thing. And anything south for me is easier, so jump on the M5 and I'm straight down there. Port's fun and all that, but it's just a trek even to get to. I'd be halfway
Yeah.
to I'd be halfway to Marulan before I even get out of Sydney going north. So
I reckon you spend half your time in Sydney, and then you get out of Sydney, and then you get to
oh
Port.
yeah, 100%. And you got to get through Newcastle and do all that sort of stuff. So I'd much
Yeah.
rather be traveling south. So keen for that. And yeah, the Revo boys just doing well. I shouldn't say Revo boys. Screw the rest of them. Well done to Nick for pushing to make all that stuff happen. And don't you think Josh looks real cute with his nice, neat haircut now, without his long
I
locks?
already saw him. I already saw him with his hair,
Ah,
with a hat. I don't know the
ah,
Bunnings. Actually, you know what? Did you see that Bunnings have fedoras now?
yeah. I always thought the Bunnings hat was about sun protection, and now clearly it's about the fashion.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even know what else is going on in drift news.
This the next round of D1NZ's not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, and Jake
Uh,
Jones is driving that.
yeah, and that's the super fast 200-kilometer entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interested to see. That's kind of fun. I just don't. That's probably the better course out of all of them, I think.
You think?
Well, it has that sort of fast entry that I like, and then it slows down towards the end. So it's like it's a compression towards the end.
Yeah,
So
but it's just like, because it's so high speed and it's so,
too fast, isn't it?
yeah, and you sort of you
Yeah,
you
it's
you, you
you
either
just,
you either nail it or you monumentally offline. Like there's not much of a happy medium where you can sort of halfway through the corner correct yourself and sort of get yourself back in the right in the right spot. Uh, I think Manfield, the last round is actually one of their better layouts too. I think it slows at the end. I think it's got a hairpin as the last corner, so you can sort of, yeah, that is the layout that I'm thinking about. Yeah, it's got a hairpin right at the end, so it's a good one for a big tuck. Um, so yeah, that's happening in a couple of weeks.
I think that's all we've got.
Yeah, we've been lazy. It's been quiet. It's sort of until FD kicks off, D1 kicks off, and more stuff happens in North America. Um,
I thought D1's happening real soon though.
yeah, I'm looking that up now. 23rd and 24th. Is that this weekend? That's this weekend.
Yeah,
Odaiba, Tokyo. That's probably they're going to be their last event there. So, oh no, that does make sense because, but last time I was there for
that's the
D1
exhibition
was,
round.
yeah, but last time I was
Yeah,
in Japan around this time of year, that was uh, when I went to Fuji and watched D1. So,
yeah. I
um,
really wanted to go to an Odaiba round, but I guess it won't happen anymore.
yeah, I don't know. I think when you're used to seeing faster drifting, it's probably not the world's most exciting thing there. So,
No, but it's cool because it's right near the city, so it's such an easy place to get to.
Yeah, so it's easy to leave if it's shit. I don't know.
You just like burnouts, that's all.
No, I didn't mind.
Big fat burnouts around the course.
I
That's it.
didn't.
No drifting.
I didn't mind the round of D1 I went to, but they just set up a funky course. So
Yeah. I always think more recently in the last sort of, well, not the most recent, but like a few years ago, I've always been thinking that they changed their course to try and gain some of the international viewers, in like mainly Americans, because the courses seem to be long sweeping sort of things or like big power burns out, which isn't what D1 used to be like, 2 decades ago, or when it started. It was 19 years ago. So it used to be like really sort of tight technical courses, and
but I
now they're
also think
just,
that part of that's trying to get more data for
well, that's,
their
yeah, for DOS.
yeah, for DOS, because like when the round I went to was like this weird Mungie entry into turn 2 or 3 at Fuji on the main track. Uh, so yeah, you're a bit late to the party there, Solly. Yeah, we talked about Mitch driving that. We're gonna try and get more info on it. The guys from Drift Department in WA have said that they were gonna try and get him on
Drift
their Department of Drift. Sorry. Um, I say SA drifting too, so I talk like Yoda. I just put things backwards. Um, and yeah, we'll let those guys try and because he's their hometown hero, and if not, we'll try and grab him or at least hit him up for some deets.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. It'd be interesting to see someone come on and talk about FD rather than just.
Well, he hasn't driven
Uh,
FT yet, so
yeah, yeah,
we should
so
get it.
afterwards.
Yeah, let him get a few rounds in, and then
No, just one round would be fine. What's the first one? Is it Atlanta?
Long Beach.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's always Long Beach.
Yeah,
That one's not too bad. I like Atlanta the best, I think,
yeah, that's
in
not till
terms of
round.
a drift course.
Yeah, that's not until round 3. So round 2 is the big burnout one that you saw Adam LZ drive. You know the just the banked oval with the 2 corners
Yeah.
where you're like that's a big burnout. That's round 2.
Okay, yeah, big burnout. You
Yeah.
agree?
Um, it's got 2 throws.
Potentially 2 throws, but it's not actually. I don't think it's actually a criteria.
No, it is like where they've got the clip set up for the at least the second one, like the through the middle section. I think it's fairly drifty to your specifications of being drifty, but
Yeah, that's the only point I can see in that course.
yeah, well, it's the only place you can because you can't drive head on at an open radius corner and not accelerate.
Surely there'd be better courses than that.
I think it's got to do with like from listening to Maximum Driftcast and stuff like that. It's got to do with how many cars they can fit, what the cost of the venue is,
Spectators.
where yeah, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
they've tried lots of like international raceways in Florida and stuff like that, and it just hasn't been practical. And one of the layouts that they ran, a lot of their road courses there, I think we sort of been spoilt in Australia a little bit where we have some good sections where they have some good sections but no actual entry point. And I think even a lot of your newer Formula One tracks, they all go
No, they're
he, he,
90 degrees, and then they open up.
yeah, it's like like the initial part of a corner now is all about slowing the car right up and trying to get
Yeah.
a good under braking overtaking section, which is horrible for drifting.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the direction most have taken where a lot of your old school layouts like in Japan and all that on some of their GT courses were sort of a little bit more open and flowing, and that's sort of starting to disappear around the
Yeah.
world.
I
Uh,
think people say it's too dangerous.
well, and it just doesn't promote overtaking during racing. It's sort of good for time attacks and stuff like that. But
Oh, I think it does, especially when you can. Because I think the way I see it is, the courses are getting softer. So instead of braking, turning, what you're doing is you're driving straight and you're braking and then you turn.
um,
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But that's it's. I don't think they do it because of safety and stuff. I think it's purely to try and get more overtaking happening. I
Yeah,
think
but you
even
can overtake around a corner. Like, just think of the complexity of trying to balance a car and brake at the same time when you're cornering.
yeah, circuit racing's a little bit different to that though. It's more in the braking area that those overtaking things happen. I think there's even talk of Melbourne Grand Prix circuit changing a little bit because I think it's up for re. They've still got the contract, but it's got to be recertified or whatever by the FIA. So
Yeah.
I think there's
So
talk of even some changes happening to that to try and promote more under
the,
braking,
the
overtaking,
new
and stuff
style
like
of
that.
course. Yeah, it's
So
just like the way the new Bathurst course looks like. Have you seen that? It's a lot of it is like
yeah,
um, you going straight on the brakes and then you hook into a corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So sadly, drifting is going to need to either start getting some of its own venues or hope that they build big go-kart tracks that we're allowed to drive on.
Yeah.
So
Talem's good. They should just build like lots of Talems everywhere.
that have a second dedicated drift track.
Or whatever. Like the whole thing is awesome.
Yeah,
So how's your car going, Greg?
slowly. Uh, did I say? I said last week that I bought it. Yeah, I think I said last week that I bought another car.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But we
so
didn't see it on the weekend, so
the
people want to know. They ask all these questions. How's your car going?
so the the original 350 is almost fully stripped now. Just need to pull the rear subframe out of it, and then if anybody wants a shell before it goes to scrap or wants to pick parts off it, I'll shove it up online for a couple of days and tell people where it's at and to go grab some bits and pieces off it. Um, and then the other car, what are we waiting on? Uh, Valve cover gaskets need to be done, so I have an intake plenum spacer coming, so we're gonna wait until that comes to do that because it's like it's leaking oil like
What do you need a
uh,
spacer for?
so basically the way that they're done it tapers almost too much at the on the opposite side to where the air cup comes in and it sort of chokes the front two cylinders of the motor.
Oh,
So
so it's actually like a chunky spacer.
yeah, it just like gaps
Okay.
the like the intake plenum is in two pieces
Yep.
and it's like a I think this one's a 12 millimeter one or something and it goes in between and it just spaces the intake up a little bit. So we're gonna do that, and then have I punched the cats out? Yes, I have decats on the car, so that's all sorted. What else needs doing? I ordered the GK Tech uh, lock kit, but I missed the first batch because I was lazy on the weekend. I should have just ordered it on the weekend, so I don't know if they'll be here in time for the bash, but stock is not so bad anyway. Uh, yeah, it's basically drivable. Just I'd like to have the oil leak fixed first,
Yeah.
and yeah, we should be up and running. I'm hoping to do the sideways Saturday on whatever that is, like the 13th or something of yeah 13th of April, and then after that I will hopefully send the car off to get a half cage in time for well before the bash so that it's ready for the Revo day so I can take passengers. So that's the plan, and I can't put a bucket seat in it without. Well, I could, uh, but I'd rather have a cage in there before I put a bucket seat in so I can run harnesses properly instead of doing some weird janky shit or having a seatbelt that's sitting loose off me and all that sort of ugly stuff. So uh, yeah, it's
It's
coming
not going to
together.
help you when Connor smashes in the back of you.
Yeah, but I've got a spare rear Rio bar now and a spare rear bar and a spare hatch and spare tail lights and spare indicators and all that. So that's the plan. If anybody's got 350Z track wheels, let me know because I want to try and buy another set. I was going to offer your mate Sebastian some money for the ones off his 180, but
Oh, you should, yeah, get them off him.
yeah, but I felt a little bit bad being like, hey, I'm gonna buy your wheels off you. Uh, is it gonna get a clutch
Be
kick?
on 17s.
What's that? He should be on 17s.
He should be on 17s.
Uh, is it gonna get a clutch kick livery? I was thinking about doing similar to what Adam and his little team in the States have, and just that sort of uh, the color with the team name cut out in it on the bottom of the door in a color. I was thinking about doing something like
Adam
that.
LZ.
So I thought about doing that, but we'll see. Oh, and I've ordered my bonnet and stuff like that. So hopefully I've got like anything that's reliability wise is an issue. Hopefully we've got that sorted. Also trying to suss out a extended sump, but they don't really sell them much over here, so I might end up having to buy a Mazworks one from the States. But just trying to anything preventative, not trying to add power, just prevention of
Try and keep it reliable.
trying, yeah, prevent issues. And
Yeah.
and just yeah, looking at man when I pulled the doors off the other car, those doors weigh like 30 to 40 kilos. I shit you not, they're heavy as
Just
hell.
because it's a two door. They're massive. They've got those big chunky side intrusion bars, and
Fuck.
it's a big door. Like think of the shape it has to hold,
Almost
and
gave,
the glass as well.
I almost gave myself a hernia trying to lift those doors. So yeah, the turbo's coming before between the week between the Bash and Revo. That's when I'm doing the turbo charge swap. And then Wise Fab will be the day after that.
Yeah, I really want to try Wise Fab out. Did you see the Irish guy?
Oh, James Dean.
James Dean, yeah. Did you see his video over the weekend?
Yeah, where he's just chucking it backwards in every corner.
Yeah, and it just seems to be so easy. It does that flop thing that you're talking about, because you can tell from the outside video, because there's some people taking some video on the outside, and but it looks interesting. Like you just pretty much just keep driving all the way around the track. You lift off a little bit and then you get back on the power.
That's provided you've got it set up properly, because if you do that and you don't have it set up properly, it will literally just crab walk you off the track.
Yeah, I really want to try it. I'm interested to see what YSub feels like.
Jai's car seems like it's set up similar to that. Like I felt like he chucked it pretty backwards into turn two of short and stuff like that. So
He just drives out of it.
and just drives out of it. So and he was also on the semis. I think it has a whole lot to do with it, where you can get back on throttle really early. If anybody's seen his video on Instagram and on YouTube, you can actually see me his first run out there, and I'm telling him to get back on the throttle way earlier. Like he's chucked it in really nicely, but he's staying off throttle, and I'm just like you can just feel that it just wants to go. So I think yeah, James's car is probably on semis, and yeah, the Wise Fab probably yeah just chuck it backwards everywhere. So
Yeah, and Jai's running the Acosta gear.
yeah, and it's yeah in a lot of ways it's pretty similar because it's just ridiculous amounts of lock. So
He has a full kit, doesn't he?
yes, from what I believe.
Yeah, because I think there's a few others that we know that have just run the LCAs with their own knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got Stewie to do them like their modified knuckles, but his version of the modified knuckles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nah, it's not
You see
less than
Jai's comment?
yeah, it's not less than you cut and shut before. Now the doors probably weigh more than the partner that I used to throw around, so I shit you not. Sorry, I'm just fielding.
Okay. That's all right.
But
so I think that's probably
yeah,
about it for this week.
yeah. Are you gonna try and get up for the London stuff at all? Undecided.
I'm keen, but no, I'm not going to. I really need to get my ass into gear and start working on 180. One, to get the damage sorted, and two, just try and make it look a bit neater.
Did you have any engine issues? Oil, everything was okay?
I don't have that many gauges, so I
No, but
don't
I mean
know.
like it hasn't drank oil or done anything weird like that.
I can't answer that question because I never checked the oil level afterwards.
You dickhead. Um, okay.
I was told when I bought the engine that it was a bit smoky, so but I didn't see any smoke when I was on throttle, so I'm not too sure what the guy was talking about. Maybe it was actually his turbo, because yeah. Anyway, I know I did have cutting out issues, and I still think it's a fuel pump dying.
Yeah.
And that still hasn't arrived. I think we were talking about last week where I was going to get another Warbro or have one ordered, but it's meant to arrive on Monday. Was fingers crossed trying to get it last Friday, but it still hasn't turned up. So it might have gone through Connor Post and taken a trip to America or something, and then come back this way.
Yeah, and just don't hardwire the next pump in because you don't want to set the car on fire. So
It wasn't my option. I bought a relay and it was the wrong relay, and I bought a relay and the relay was broken, and because it was a weird relay, I couldn't get a replacement. So I'm going to buy a normal relay, cheap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be both back out on track soon.
yeah, and I can smash into the side of you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's no worries because you've got spare parts.
Yeah, they're just a different color, sadly, but
And Connor can smash into the back of you and give you whiplash.
no, I don't drive with shopping trolleys.
His, it sounds like his front end's going to be a bit stronger as well.
Yeah, nah, and
Actually,
he does everything in chromoly, so I'd rather not.
yeah.
I don't know what our plan is for next week. We never have a plan. Eiji makes plans and then the plans never come to fruition. So,
Oh, that's just sometimes. Sometimes.
do you have any ideas on a plan? Probably not.
I do have an idea for a guest, and
Okay.
we'll see if you're interested in coming on.
All right.
It's just, I don't know why we've been stood up a few times.
Yeah, I think people just don't like us. Probably busy going on that other one. Who chucked a sickie this week? So.
Oh, really? So that's why we've got more viewers this week.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, let's leave this one for tonight. Well, welcome, Jake. We're about to finish up because we were lazy and maybe we could. Hey, Jake, we'll get you. I know you've been doing all sorts of other podcasts with all sorts of other people, but maybe the week after you get back from D1NZ, we'll line you up and have you on. Let's see if he replies. We'll just sit in awkward silence because there's
Okay.
a delay.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a delay too. It's like 30 seconds at least.
So we'll just sit here in awkward silence.
Yeah. Jake. Have you been catching up with Jake's videos?
Yeah, one of them was really long, so I haven't watched it yet. I think that's his drive day at Wakefield. I haven't had time to sit down and watch the long ones. Even Adam's long one I listened to in the car on the way out to the workshop the other day. So
Adam?
Adam LZ had a long one up from.
Oh, you're on a first name basis, is that right?
Well, people make fun of me when I say Z or Z or whatever. So
Maybe you should ask Adam if he wants to come on.
nah, look at this. Jake Jones comes in, dumps his name, says hi, tries to gain some followers, and then leaves. All right. Well, let's finish this up, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next week.
Yep. See you guys.
All right. we're doing short outro today. See you guys.
Bye.